This is Dash, I'm Kevin, and this ball of fun is Baku. And up here behind me is Flash. We're live here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. We're located in Benton, Tennessee, and you can come here and hang out with all of these awesome animals. We have over 150 animals, including sloths, kangaroos, llamas, alpacas. Guess what? We even have a spider monkey also. So if you've ever wanted to come hang out with a bunch of really awesome animals, you can do that here. And another thing that we have is covered wagons with air conditioning right on the banks of the beautiful Ocoee River. And if you're curious on where we're located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. Now you do have to get off of 75 a little bit, but that's always a welcome relief to me. Who likes all that traffic? I'm gonna set Baku down a little bit. So this is Dash. All of our sloths here are two-fingered or two-toed Linnaeus sloths. So in the wild, they're only gonna live to 20 to 30 years. But in captivity, there were two, Jan and Paula in Germany, that made it to 52 and 54 years old. How amazing is that? Really awesome. So sloths are pretty amazing because they eat about 10% of their body weight every single day. But here's the really crazy thing. They only use the bathroom every 7 to 10 days. And what they do is they grab onto the tree and they go all the way down and they get their booty right on the ground. No joke, just like this. So they get all the way down and they shake their booty and they use the bathroom. And then when they're using the bathroom down there on the pile, the sloth moth crawls up onto their fur and it's living in there. They have a whole ecosystem. And then when the sloth is grooming itself, it gets the bacteria and it ingests it. So sloths digest their food through a bacterial process, unlike humans, which use an enzymatic process. Isn't that amazing? So I'm not gonna spoil the rest of the sloth encounter for you guys, but we'll continue going live a little bit after 10. So if you wanna see what a sloth encounter is like, keep watching and it's gonna be really awesome. Again, we're live on almost all of our social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all that great stuff. And if you want to make a reservation, which you should, go to our website, OcoeeRiversideFarm.com, and you can book your lodging and your encounters there. And here's another really great thing. We just opened our farm store. So what that means is that you can come right onto the property Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, go right to our farm store, and if we have any open encounters or a farm tour, you can book right there. We have ice cream and some treats and gifts and different things like that. Where's everybody watching from this morning? The other day, I think we had North Pole, Alaska watching, which, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Let's see here. We got any cool people watching from awesome places? I think we had Canada and Germany the other day. Indiana! Are you close to Indianapolis? That'd be pretty cool. Buffalo, New York. Hello. Arkansas. What's up, Arkansas? How you doing? Texas, the big old state. Maine. How you doing, Mama Bear in Maine? It's beautiful up there. I like Maine because I think they have more woods than roads. So that's my idea of fun. Let's see, Vera, hello. You're awesome too. Sis, thank you so much for being our moderator. Guys, if you're watching on TikTok, Sis is our moderator and she does a great job of answering a bunch of questions that sometimes we don't get to. And the reason sometimes we can't answer all the questions is you're watching a live encounter. So we don't have time to jump in and we don't want to interrupt someone's encounter. Let's see, you're in France. Vero in France, that is awesome. That is really cool. Let's see here, do we have any more questions? Because we're gonna be starting the sloth encounter here in just a minute. San Diego. Hi, R. Hirsch in San Diego. Hope you're having a great day. It's beautiful over there. Where are we? We are in Benton, Tennessee, and this is Ocoee Riverside Farm, and you can come here and hold sloths. It's awesome. And there's a little armadillo running around. He's actually a 3-banded armadillo. Let me see if I can grab him. And the reason that we have a 3-banded armadillo is they are all Zathorans. So they're part of the superorder, including sloths and giant anteaters. And what that name means is hinged spine. So they have the ability to fold all the way up. Check this out. This is Baku, the three-banded armadillo. So his name is short for Bakugan. And then we're hoping to get a female and name her Shaka Khan. So we'll have some pretty awesome music. Hey Shannon in Tennessee, hope you're doing all right. They don't bite? Nah, our animals are pretty chill because we hang out with them all the time and we're really friendly to them. So when you're friendly to things, you get a really chill animal. Maine says they do have a lot of woods. I love it. Up there in beautiful Maine. So if you guys are just joining us, we are live here at Ocoee Riverside Farm. This is Baku, this is Dash, and behind me is Flash. So you're hanging out with two sloths and an armadillo. So again, this is a three-banded armadillo. There are over 20 different kinds of armadillos. There's the smallest down to the pink fairy armadillo, and there's even a giant armadillo that weighs over 100 pounds. How cool is that? But when you look at his little claws, you'll see that they're very similar to the sloth's claws. How cool is that? All right, let's see. Baku does crack me up too. He's always like, hey. And then when he runs around, he kind of looks like a baked potato on high heels running around. He's hilarious. All right, guys, we are gonna be starting the sloth encounter here in just a moment. We're waiting on everybody to join us. Let's see if we have any more questions. What kind of questions do you guys have? We have a couple minutes for a little Q&A. So if you have a great question, let's hear it. What part of Tennessee are we in? We are in Benton, Tennessee, which is just north of Chattanooga off of 75. And we're on the banks of the beautiful Ocoee River, and it's awesome. We have covered wagons with air conditioning and heat that are right on the river. We have a riverside cabin, and then up above us is the camel condo. Let me tell you about that. So if you want that guy, the sloth, for a roommate, you book the camel condo. So his enclosure is right here and it goes 2 stories up. So you get a sloth for a roommate. I'm not joking. It's really cool. So it has 3 master suites and then it has hidden bunk rooms, just like in Chronicles of Narnia. And so the kids open a wardrobe and then they go into the hidden bunk rooms. And then once you're in the bunk rooms, you can look down and you can see baby kangaroos and camels. And then there's even a nether tunnel with glow-in-the-dark fish tanks. I mean, it's awesome. I have an 8-year-old little girl and she thinks it's paradise. So it's really, really cool to stay up there. Let's see here. Do we have any more questions? I think we're gonna be getting started here in about 2 or 3 minutes. So if you have another question, let's hear it. Sorry, a fly landed on the camera lens. It is really cool. You love sloths? Well, you gotta come and visit. Well, I think your name is Sloths all day. That's awesome. So the reason that we don't have any 3-fingered or 3-toed sloths is they really need to eat the leaves of the Sarcopia tree. 2-fingered or 2-toed sloths, they have a much better digestive system, so they can vary what they're eating. So let's see here. I don't see any more questions here, so we might be flipping the camera here in just a minute. How much? Let's see here. So if you're wanting to come hang out with the sloths, I think the encounter started like $70 or something like that. But what a lot of people do too is they do the farm tour. So we have farm tours starting for adults at around 20 bucks. And you're getting to see sugar gliders, hedgehogs, micro squirrels, iguanas, camels, llamas, alpacas, sulcata tortoises. There is so much to see. It's amazing. Let's see. Is the sloth in the back okay? Yeah, he's chilling. That's what sloths like to do. And that's actually who we're going to be doing the encounter with. And his name is Flash. So if you guys want to see what it's like when Flash has a little bit of food, keep watching. We'll start that probably here in about 5 or 10 minutes. Let's see here. Flash, 100-yard dash. That's right. All right, let's get this a little bit closer and you guys can see Flash. Hey Flash, they were wondering about you, buddy. They were wondering if you're okay. He's doing pretty awesome. All right, this tripod's a little heavy, so I'm gonna have to set it down, but I just wanted you guys to be able to see that. All right, what other questions do you guys have? We are located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville. This is Dash, and his birthday was, I think, last week, so he just turned 1. So he is loving some cuddles. So if you want to come get your sloth cuddle on, you can do that here, and he is the sweetest little guy ever. As you can see, he likes hanging out, he likes cuddles, he likes warm temperatures, 75 to 80 degrees. How old is the sloth that I'm holding? Just over a year old. His birthday was 2 weeks ago. Or maybe it was last week, but about 2 weeks. All right, what other questions do we have here, guys? Oh, look what I got. This is Baku. Baku is a 3-banded armadillo. So he is part of the superorder of Zothorans, which also the sloths and giant anteaters are. So what that means is hinge spine. So he has the ability to curl himself all the way up in the ball. Here's the cool thing. There are over 20 different kinds of armadillos, all the way from the pink fairy, which is a tiny little guy, all the way up to a giant armadillo, which is over 100 pounds. But look how cool his little claws are. So he just digs through with those, and then you can see God made him where he just can fold down all the way into a ball. Isn't that amazing? Do they bite? Baku doesn't really bite. He looks for little bugs and he likes to dig through your socks, but he's about the sweetest little thing ever. So I think he's pretty awesome. All right, I'm gonna flip this around and we're gonna get started. I think we're about ready. All right, guys, we are going to be getting started with the sloth encounter here in probably like 5 minutes. I'm going to let you hang out with Flash here a little bit. He's probably going to move around, but you're going to get to hang out with Flash. Can you see, oh, her walk, oh, you mean the little armadillo? Yeah, he's gonna come cruising back by. Let's check this out. So this is Baku, and he's about the coolest little armadillo ever. So he is part of the superorder of Zothorans, which also the sloths and giant anteaters are. So what that means is the ability to curl themselves in a ball. And if you really look at this, you can see the hair is kind of poking. Cool. You guys can come on in.
He's coming to you just like you're coming to him. Come on in. You, and then I guess he'll take over and then I'll do the next. I'm at 10:30.
And we got an armadillo running around here too. Have you guys ever fed a sloth?
No.
What?
I've never even seen a sloth in person.
Well, that's pretty cool. And that's Baku the armadillo. So when we're feeding Flash, you take one of these and you go, you want that? And sometimes he's a little picky. Let's see if he wants a sweet potato. Probably the problem is that he smells that yummy rice. Where y'all from?
I'm from the Chicago area.
I'm from Chattanooga.
Oh, cool. So that's all you gotta do. So they have horrible vision. So they have monorod chromacy, so they can't really see what's going on. So once you go to feed him, let go because he doesn't want to eat your finger. But this and this look very familiar. There you go. And then I'll make a little bowl of all this stuff for you guys. And feel free to take as many pictures as you want. And then once we get started, I'll tell you guys a lot more about Yeah, he's gonna dig through your shoes looking for bugs, and if he gets annoying, you can send him to the side.
Tickle.
He's always looking for bugs. It's kind of funny. So from Chicago, did you bring us any pizza?
I did not.
What?
I should have.
That's ridiculous. Here you go, you can start with that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Can we feed the one in the basket too?
So
Or
when we switch to the second part of the encounter, we'll go ahead and use like some rice and stuff like that because he's a baby, and so he doesn't get like huge pieces. But yeah, you'll definitely get to feed him also. And here's a little bit more for you.
do you want
So the reason that we have two-fingered or two-toed sloths versus three-toed is that the three-toed diet has to be pretty much sarcopia leaves. And I'm gonna take off here because I think he is really into your shoes.
He really does like my shows.
He's always looking for bugs.
He just felt tickled by my ankle.
So sloths eat about 10% of their body weight every single day. In the jungle, they're obviously, eating leaves and things like that. But the crazy thing is that they fall to the trees once a week. And the reason that they fall is they're trying to get the freshest leaves, which are at the end of the branch, right? And so they're going out there, and it's usually fine for their weight. But then what happens is like a predator, like a harpy eagle or a big cat, jumps out there to try to get them. So they both go crashing down to the ground. The reason that the sloth survives is he actually has 46 ribs, 2 sets of 23. And then all of their internal organs are attached with a connective tissue to each other and to their ribs. So when they fall, they don't get that secondary impact. Like if we get in a car wreck, it's like our brain moving around and we're like, oh no. He doesn't get that. So he's basically built like a tank.
You want to go some?
Another crazy thing about sloths is they use the bathroom only every 7 to 10 days. But when they use the bathroom, they lose 30% of their body weight. Yeah, so imagine you weigh 200 pounds and having a 60-pound bathroom break. We would need some new plumbing.
Yeah.
But what he does is they come down out of the tree and they get their booty all the way on the ground. And they do like this little dance. And they run in the same spot every time. But when they use the bathroom in that pile, the sloth moth is living in that pile. And then it crawls up on them and it lives in the fur. So when they groom themselves, they get the bacteria from the sloth moth and then they ingest it. So they process their food through a bacterial process, unlike us, which is enzymatic. So if they didn't have that sloth moth, they would pass away. And if the sloth moth didn't have them, they would pass away. And that's Dad. She loves to look around.
I think you like the sweet potato. Yeah, you like the sweet potato.
I think he likes like the crunch.
It's like ASMR.
Yeah. I always think it's funny, like you hear animals chewing, you're like, that's so cute, and you hear a human chew, you're like,
Like,
could you
that's
please stop? How'd y'all find out about us?
My
He's-
parents, my dad booked it.
Oh, that's cool.
He surprised me. I'm visiting him.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, I got like a Google Calendar invite, and he's like, I'm not telling you where we're going.
Nice. Well, that's a pretty solid surprise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hello.
he made you. Let's see. This is not gonna let go. No, you're not getting that yet. Stop. You're gonna stay in here. As soon as he gets like one little snack, he's like the biggest pushover ever. But when he's trying to get snacks, he's like, I'm big, I'm scared. I'm like, you're a baby sloth. Chill out. So Flash lives right here behind this door, and that's a 2-story enclosure that goes all the way up. So if you're staying upstairs, you got Sloth for a roommate, and then Zoe is hanging out in there, And Dash still doesn't stay down here yet because he just turned 1. That's the reason he's in that basket, because he's normally up at the main house. Do you need more sweet potato? Is that what he's feeling?
I think it's one. Yeah.
Okay. And if it falls on the ground, it is not a big deal. Just leave it there.
He's just chilling. He's literally just hanging.
Hello. I'll probably hold on to him so he
He's
doesn't.
gonna bite you.
Well, he
He
just.
thinks you're a sweet potato. Or rice. He thinks you're rice. Oh my gosh. He's just chilling.
And if you guys want any pictures together, let me know and I can take the picture. So Flash has never been held by us, and before he was here, the big guy, he was only behind like a window and he never even got to interact with anybody. So it took about 2 years of just feeding him same time every day, and now he's really chill. If at some point he wants to climb on us, we'll be totally okay with that, but we're never going to force him to do anything like that.
Yeah.
These sloths are totally different. They've been held since birth. Like, they want to be held, as you see. They're like, hey, I want to get on you. But, hey,
Hey, I'm ready.
we went over a little bit of the sloth moth, the ribs, sarcopia leaves, and it took 2 or 3 years of you feeding Flash to get him ready. Guys, this is John.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. Where you guys in from today?
Chattanooga.
Oh, excellent. Love it when our locals come.
Do you want to hold on to Dash because he kept getting out of the
Yeah, sure.
That's why.
And this year, we've had people here from all 49 states, plus California, DC, and 44 other foreign countries. And but we just started getting locals when we opened a non-lodging middle of 24. And still, hardly anybody in town knows that we're here. We have people here from all over the world, but not from around the street, around the corner. What are your names?
I'm Sydney.
I'm Patrick.
Ah, good to meet you guys. I'm John.
Sweet.
All right, so sloths. Sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow. But sloths are slow in ways it likely hasn't occurred to you that a sloth even could be slow. So the beginning of a sloth being slow is their diet. A sloth in the rainforest is eating almost exclusively sarcopia, sarcopia for three-toed, is eating almost exclusively leaves. And that is about 90% of their diet. Leaves are very low in nutritional value and very low in caloric content. So they are working on an extremely limited energy budget. So limited, in fact, that a sloth cannot maintain its own body temperature. The sloth's core body temperature will be whatever the outside air temperature is. And in the rainforest, that can be high in the mid 80s, low in the high 60s. So their core body temperature can change by 19 degrees Fahrenheit from day to night. Obviously, putting that to human perspective, that would be me dropping from 98.6 down to 79.6. The coroner would be interested in that, but no one else. The sloth also can only make milk for its babies for an extremely limited period of time. Sloths, depending on which study you believe, I tend to think San Diego Zoo is right, because they've been doing it for the longest. They say it is gender dependent, and that a male baby sloth only eats milk from its mother for about 15 days, and a female for about 27 days. The sloths do not have any milk storage. Most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their young. The sloths have no storage. They produce and deliver, so they make it drop by drop as the baby eats it. They do not have anything in the energy budget for producing something that isn't going to be immediately used. The sloth doesn't shed and grow more hair. Its hair grows in, and its hair essentially lasts for all of its life. Even the way that a human sheds. You know, we lose 10 or 20 hairs a day or something like that. Sloths don't even lose that. Their hair stays with them. So like this guy is fully adult. You can see how long his hair is. This guy, if you looked back in my Facebook, TikTok, whatever, for a couple of months, you would see this guy was espresso brown over his whole body, like this is here. So you're just starting to see his adult hairs poking through his baby coat, but see his hair isn't nearly as long as Flash's hair is, and it's going to take his hair about 3 years to get that long. The one that is in there is 18 months old, and her hair is about half the length of Flash's hair. That's Flash, this is Dash, that's Zoe. And the new baby, Chloe, should be here in a few weeks. And but we never know when the new one is coming. They come when their mother weans them of her own choosing, not before. The sloths, when they are in the top of the tree, they are basically safe from animals that would like to hunt them. The sloth in the top of the tree, it has no scent. It has no musk gland, sweat gland, scent gland, not any of that. So it looks like you want some more food still.
He likes.
Is there more in there?
He wants the sweet potatoes.
Oh, okay, we'll give him a few more. Did you guys get pictures with him yet?
Not yet.
You know you're welcome to take all the pictures, all the videos you want, right?
You're on picture.
And if you want me to take the photo for you, hand me a camera. You can stand approximately this close to the sloth for your photos. And you can stand on both sides of them if you would like. Hey Flash, look over here, buddy. Hey Flash. He needs to get his hand out of his face.
I just gave him a potato.
Fortunately, it's the digital age. You can just delete all these later.
Sure.
Find the one that worked out. Hey Bubba. Flash. Hey buddy. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the sloth, no sweat gland, musk gland, scent gland. He also has no temperature except the outside air temperature. Snakes hunt by sense of smell and temperature difference. So it is literally impossible for a snake to find a sloth except by blind dumb luck. The sloth is safe from cats in the top of the tree because the sloth hangs upside down, and we'll talk about his eyes in a second, but when he sees something moving, his instinct is end of the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then it's gonna boing down under him, so it's hanging down, right? And if the cat is trying to get to him, you know, the cat's like coming along the top of the branch like this, and when he gets to the end, you know, what's he gonna do, right? He can't get there. And if the cat should press the issue to the point that the whole mess breaks and falls 100 feet all the way to the rainforest floor, this dude can withstand a 100-foot drop, and a cat can't. So the sloth is going to look over the cat and he's going to say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes. And the cat will not be returning to the canopy of the rainforest. The one animal that can get to a sloth in the top of a tree is a harpy eagle. Harpy eagles are big and fast and strong. They don't need the weight of the branch to support them. They don't need to smell them. They don't need to sense them by temperature. So a harpy eagle can get to a sloth in the top of the tree, and that's why moss is important. The moss and algae in the sloth's fur disguise him from the harpy eagle. So in the top of the tree, he is essentially safe from everything that would hunt him. But yet he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, every single time because of the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship Kevin said he already told you about. The sloth, when he's up in the top of the tree, he is hanging out towards the ends of the branches because his diet is almost exclusively leaves. And if there was going to be the newest, freshest leaves are out of the ends of the branches. If anything was going to build up, you know, chemically in the leaves, it would be the oldest leaves, closer to the base of the tree. And the cellulose walls of a leaf get harder and harder as the leaf gets older. So, you know, they say tender, the most young, tender, freshest leaves are at the ends of the branches. So that's where he likes to hang out, is the ends of the branches, both because the food is the best and because he's the safest. Because if he's up at the trunk, you know, those branches will support a cat. The ones out at the end won't. The cat might weigh 40 or 50 pounds. It would be big enough to come in a sloth. And the sloth only weighs 15. Some idiot forgot to latch the gate. Let me latch it now.
So we were
me.
calling and it kept going to voicemail, and the lady came across and told us a code and opened it. It was being
Huh.
funky.
I wonder who the plate, was it a girl or a lady? On
Uh,
that squawk box, it's probably hard to tell.
whenever we hit the call button, nobody answered. It just came to like a voicemail thing. We
Alright,
tried it a
so
few times.
they recently updated the software in the thing, and it is supposed to go to a broadcast call, and right now they said the broadcast feature doesn't work, so our calls are going rollover dialing, and if somebody has their phone turned off, that makes it go on the first ring to voicemail, and then it doesn't roll to the next one. Real pain. Hopefully it'll get software fixed quickly.
So what is y'all's TikTok? Because I think everyone's
It's Ocoee Riverside Farm, and I think we're on TikTok right now, if your friend wanted to watch live. Let me see. One of these is on TikTok. Oof, and now it's sideways on TikTok.
so I can watch.
Hey, I don't know why my gate won't, oh, you know what, I'm probably on Ocoee Riverside. So we'll log into the gate. So there's people sitting out there.
You need when you go there.
No matter how many times I hit forget, it remembers.
When you're done, I'll show you how to make it auto log in for you.
Okay.
You need me to go up to the gate?
Yeah, I'll go up there.
Yeah, if you would go up to the gate,
Okay.
wait, and enter this code, that'll
Okay.
latch it open.
Got it. Keys in your truck?
Yeah, always. Super secure farm life. Keys are in everything, man, that's fine. Alright, so what was I just talking about? Oh, you don't know, I don't know.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I forgot. Alright, so anyway, the sloth has a structure to his eyes called rod monochromacy. Rod monochromacy means he has all rod cells, no cone cells. So he always sees in grayscale, and he sees objects poorly, but he sees motion very, very well. So if you've ever seen a movie where, you know, they've got the POV of the, hang on dude, the POV of the guys wearing the night vision goggles, and out in front of them they just see like moving around blobs, that's the way that a sloth sees. So he sees motion very, very well, both day and night, and he sees objects very poorly. Do you want to hold him?
Sure.
Okay. You guys are doing VIP next anyway, so that's what we're about to do. His fingers are a little sharp, and you don't have a whole lot of shirt there. But if he's too pinchy for you, I can give you a towel or something. Hey, Dash. Oh, baby. If you support him under the bum, he generally doesn't hold on very hard.
Hello. Gosh.
Oh, he's a snugglebug. This guy sits on my lap every night for half an hour. They like to be stroked, they don't really like to be scratched. Now Flash wants attention. He's like, hey, whoa, why is someone else getting attention? I'm the star of the show. That's what he's saying. So he sees motion very well, objects poorly. Motion is what's important to the sloth. Anything moving in a sloth's direction is bad news for a sloth. So when they see something coming, that's, you know, end of the branch, and get out there and stay safe. So this guy cannot see the difference between me and either one of you, because his vision is super poor. He can see this, but he doesn't know what it is. Now, since his vision is so poor, that means his sense of smell and his sense of hearing are on point. So when I open his door in the morning, I say, hey, Flash. He just comes scurrying right down the tree. He knows who I am. You saw him turn around and I said, hey, Flash, because he's, whatever. His name's Dash, but anyway, so the sloth knows what I sound like, and he knows what I smell like, for better or worse. I never use any other kind of cologne except what I always use, and I pretty much always smell the same at the end of the day in the summertime. And he knows both of those. So the sloth knows what I sound like, knows what I smell like, and if I am in this room, he's in this room. So during the day, he only does 1 hour of encounters per day. He's not an ambassador the way the other ones are. These ones do 2 hours of encounters a day. But if I'm in the room, I'll just open the door and he can come out and hang out and just chill and, you know, enjoy people's company. But he only does 1 hour encounters per day. But some of the keyboard warriors online think that he lives on this branch. He does not. He lives in that room. It goes up 20-some feet. He's got hammocks and branches and trees and things to play with. And then the outside out there is his outside part that he hangs out outside if it's more than 72 degrees outside. So I don't know how much he talked about these sloths and moths, but I'll just kind of run through it. We're not in a rush. The nature of the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. There is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth that lives nowhere on Earth except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. It is symbiotic, meaning beneficial to both sides, where parasitic would be beneficial to one, neutral, harmful, or even, you know, ending to the other. But the sloth moth benefits as much as the sloth benefits. Did your friend find the TikTok?
Maybe. Here's my parents.
Oh, your parents.
Probably.
They didn't respond, but I'm assuming my mom did. She's
What's mom's name? Do you know it on TikTok?
Cindy or Chris.
Hey, are Cindy or Chris parents of the participants on here? Comment if you are.
This is insane.
Oh, I don't see him commenting, but yeah, maybe they are, maybe not. Kevin will cut up and post a shorter version of this later. So if they missed it now, you know, they can catch up with it later. And if you're online, if you swipe to the right, we've got all kind of content on there. People watch the lives and nobody ever clicks across. I don't know why. But anyhow, I get off my little powder and then I forget. Okay, beneficial to both. Benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. The moths are feeding on the moss and algae that is all through the sloth's fur, and they are then fertilizing the same via their waste. The only two reasons that the moths leave the sloth during their lifetime is to get into the waste pile to lay their eggs and to drink water that pools up in the leaves up in the canopy of the rainforest. When the sloth comes down the tree, while he's in the top, he's eating 10% of his body weight every day. When he comes down the tree, once in a week or 10 days, 3 or 4 times a month, he is going to eliminate 1/3 of his full body mass when he goes to the bathroom. Putting that to human perspective, I weigh about 200 pounds. So that would be me rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 20 of these 16-ounce porterhouse steaks. I'm going to eat that right now. Or, you know, hitting the golden arches and saying, bring me 80 quarter pounders, because, you know, I'm a little hungry. And obviously that's not going to work. And then if I was going to eliminate 1/3 of 200 pounds, think of that for a second and shudder. And that is solid and liquid separately, but at the same time. So he's going to make a pile when he comes down. The moths are going to fly down into the waste pile, lay their eggs as fast as they can, and get right back to the sloth, because he's only going to be down for 2 or 3 minutes and whoo, all the way back to the canopy, and they don't want to miss the ride 100 feet back up. When the moths lay their eggs, this week's eggs are next week's larvae or the following week's moths. So every time that he comes down the tree, there's another step in the process. There are always new moths to come up onto the sloth. And that's why he comes same tree, same side of the tree every single time to do his business. When they were trying to, you know, figure out some of the things about lives of sloths, sometimes scientists have some pretty stupid ideas on the way to some correct ideas or not. And the first idea on why that, so at the start, since the sloth always goes to the bathroom in the same place, they thought that sloths lived in one tree or a very small set of trees. Not true. They have radio collared sloths now. You can get one of the bracelets here that links to it. Well, the bracelet doesn't really link. It gives you a QR code for your phone and you track a sloth in the rainforest on an app. They move quite a bit more than people used to think. Sometimes as much as a mile in a day. And and then the next thought that they had, once they realized that they're moving around more, is that they are going to the bathroom all in one place because they're a neat animal. I mean, obviously, these aren't Adrian Monk of the rainforest. They're not going to risk their life coming down the tree because they're a neat animal, right? So then the next idea was that the sloth is fertilizing his own tree via his waste. Again, no logic in this. If the sloth let it rip from anywhere in the canopy of the tree, it's going to fall above the root system of the tree, so no effect. So the sloths and moths, that's the total reason that they come down the tree. And this could give a person who believes in the evolution system of beliefs just fits and convulsions, because how can you explain that a mammal evolved up this chain and an insect evolved up that chain, and the two of them have become inextricably linked and cannot move forward one without the other? And it is a proven fact that a colony of moths cannot survive without the sloth, and the sloth cannot survive without the colony of moths. Now the moth benefits from this relationship in three separate ways. One, as the moths fertilize the moss and algae that's all in the sloth's fur. Am I long-winded?
No, you're good.
Okay.
They're kind of looking for us. They're driving around.
Oh, gotcha. As the moths fertilize the moss and the algae that's all in the sloth's fur, that fertilizes it, and that means more moss, more algae, more disguise from harpy eagles. And second, yes. Why say hey John and not that answer?
Hey, is your dad's name Christopher Quinn?
Yeah.
He just said my son and his girlfriend they're watching, so you can say hi to him if you want.
Call me whenever you get a chance.
So the second benefit so the first benefit is camouflage. Second benefit, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is the sloth's protein source in the wild. Third, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. That is the key thing for the sloth. The waste of the moths are where the sloth gets its probiotics from that digest its food. We also have helpful gut bacteria. If our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives without a second thought, unless we take excuse me, a whole lot of antibiotics. If we take a lot of antibiotics, we need some Greek yogurt or some probiotics to fix our gut health back up. Now this guy lives in the rainforest. He's never heard of GNC. He doesn't know the way to Publix. He ain't getting any Greek yogurt. He's not going to see any probiotics. So how he replenishes his gut bacteria is the waste of the moths. Here, praise the Lord, we don't need these moths all over the sloths. In the rainforest, there are 100 to 150 moths living on each sloth all the time. Cool. Can't imagine living with that. We don't need it here because one, he doesn't need camouflage. Nothing is hunting him here. Two, he doesn't need protein. We can give him other protein sources. Three, he doesn't need to replace his gut bacteria. What interrupts our gut health is antibiotics. What interrupts his gut health is cold temperature. If a sloth gets cold, it will wipe out his entire gut bacteria colony, and if you can't replace it, you can't survive. And that replacement bacteria waste to the moths. Here, we don't ever let a sloth get cold, so his gut bacteria will last throughout his life. And other things we didn't talk about with a sloth, he's got massive teeth. If you see a picture of a skeleton of a sloth, you could understand that if a scientist dug up a skeleton of a sloth and did not know what he was looking at, he would almost certainly come up with a top of the food chain notion of a sloth, and not that of a slow, peaceful animal who's going to be hiding in the trees for all of his life. And because that is the skeleton of a sloth. Can you call Grace and see what she needs?
Oh, okay, yeah. My 10:30, sir.
Okay. You can see, I mean, on this, the teeth aren't covered by gum, so they look bigger than they are, but his teeth are. That is a three-toed sloth. You can see that the claws are the size that his claws are. This guy has 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs. He is built to take it. His legs are longer than his body, his arms are longer than his body. If you were going, I mean, you would absolutely think this guy's screaming around like a howler monkey and just laying waste to everything, right? All of those 46 ribs, he's got, in addition to all the ribs that keep him safe, he's got connective tissue going back and forth between all of these ribs, and that is how the sloth can withstand huge drops. Not only the drops, but whether he's horizontally upside down like this, vertically upside down like that, whether he's hanging in a tree like this or laying on his back, belly, or side, all this connective tissue keeps his organs positioned in orientation where they ought to be. So for us, our guts are sitting in our pelvis, upper bounded by our diaphragm, but they're just kind of sloshy in there. So it can be super uncomfortable to be upside down for a long time, like on an inversion table or something. The sloth though, whatever his position, his organs all remain exactly where they should be, both position and orientation, because he's all held together with all that connective tissue. And last thing, the sloth. If we were trying to do a 2-arm hang in this tree, a minute is a long time to do a 2-arm hang, right? And that's because for us, this is exertion. For us, this is relaxation. Sloth is the opposite. Really tight tendons in his hand and in his forearm. He's pop, clamped down like that. That is his completely relaxed state. So this is his exertion state. This is his relaxed state. If that sloth's life ended hanging in the tree, he wouldn't fall. Because so when you feel the sloth and it feels like he's holding on for dear life, he's totally chilling. That's just the way that a sloth is. All right, you guys are moving on to the VIP portion just with him. I'm not sure if that's with me or with Tatum. And our next group is here. So give me just a second. Hey, Tatum.
You're so cute. You get a photo of your face. Zucchini double try. Zucchini. You haven't wanted it so far. Yeah.
He said that sauce was bad.
He said, but only sweet potatoes here.
Hey guys, well since you've got that, you're more than welcome to carry him. But we're gonna go out to the pavilion and hang out and chill out there.
Okay.
Are you good with that?
I just carry him?
Yeah, you just carry him.
Oh, yes. You could have said yes, I believe you. Come on in.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right, we're here this morning with Flash. Flash is a two-toed Linnaeus sloth. Oop, I'm screwing this up. And just a second here, when they see who you are, they can tell us if your friends have found us or not. Go on ahead. Where are you from today?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. My daughter lives in Jersey somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Her husband just opened a T-Mobile store up there.
Really?
Is T-Mobile new to Jersey?
No,
No, I didn't think so. Maybe.
but
I guess he was
It
operating
expands
the
all the
number one
time.
store in the state of Georgia as
Oh,
the
yeah?
assistant, so they moved him up there.
oh, okay.
All right, this is Flash. Flash is a two-toed Linnaeus sloth, and this morning you are going to feed Flash his breakfast while I tell you some things about sloths that you likely don't know, at least some of them. And you are going to feed him. You're welcome to touch him. You're welcome to pet him. They prefer to be stroked, not scratched, and they don't like to be touched on the belly side at all.
Okay.
And the thing to know about a sloth is he cannot see well at all. You can't see the difference between your finger and the food. So please don't stick your finger in his mouth.
Okay.
Don't put your finger in his mouth, don't put your finger in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger in our mouth.
Okay.
And when you want to feed him, hey Flash, just show him the food and he'll come right down. You're welcome to take all the pictures, all the videos you would like. We're not one of these crazy places that charges you to take a picture with your own phone. And hey buddy, I got a little long-winded on the last one and he thought he was out of breakfast. Hey buddy, come here. Might have to give him a little piece of banana to get him back woke up and interested again. Well, that's a nice ripe one. He's gonna be pretty jazzed about that. I was getting my banana the other day and it was a little green. Alright, so Flash is a two-fingered Linnaeus sloth. Taxonomically, they are still referred to as two-toed and three-toed, but the two-fingered, three-fingered designation makes a little more sense. All sloths have 3 fingers on the back feet. The two-fingered have 2 on the front. Three-fingered have 3 on the front. They are different animals. The two-fingered is significantly bigger and quicker than a three-fingered sloth is. And I'll show you a skeleton image here at some point and show you that a two-fingered is built more like a truck and a three-fingered is built more like a sports car. But the three-fingered is more like a Barrett Jackson push it across the stage sports car, because he is not going anywhere quick. When we say that a two-fingered sloth is quicker than a three-fingered sloth, the only mammal that a two-fingered sloth is quicker than is a three-fingered sloth. Collectively, they are the slowest mammals. And this is his breakfast. You're welcome to feed him all of this.
Okay, should I start with a carrot because it's longer first?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Just go ahead with the banana?
It doesn't matter. He's probably going to eat all of that. This guy does not have to perform to get his breakfast. Anything he doesn't eat in his encounter goes in his
Hey,
dish.
sweetie. Oh, there you go, darling.
It's
Thank
cool, right?
you. Yeah, it's cool.
Alright, so sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow. But sloths are slow in ways that may not have occurred to you. It would even be possible for an animal to be slow. The beginning of a sloth being slow is their diet. In the rainforest, a sloth is eating almost exclusively leaves. Leaves are very low in nutritional value, very low in caloric content. So a sloth is working on an extraordinarily limited energy budget. The sloth in the rainforest is eating about 90% leaf material. The other things he is going to eat are just haphazard as he comes across them, and the bodies of the moths would make up the balance. He would eat fruit if he found some, but it's a rare treat for him in the rainforest. The sloth, when he is talking about a sloth being slow, a sloth is slow in their movement, digestion, metabolism, metabolic processes. They are slow in every way that an animal can be slow. But beyond being slow in ways that we would normally think of slowness, they're low in energy in other ways. For instance, a sloth cannot maintain his body temperature. A sloth's core body temperature is whatever the outside air temperature is. So in the rainforest, daytime highs in the high 80s, nighttime lows in the upper 60s, and his body temperature will follow that range of temperatures every day. His nighttime core body temperature can be 19 degrees. Not a banana, he might not eat the fruit, but it's
He
okay.
ate the carrot.
Usually his banana is his afternoon snack, and that's actually a sweet potato. Not that it matters, but he doesn't eat carrots. They're kind of sugary for veggies for him. Sweet potatoes are technically not that different. But anyhow, the sloth, his core body temperature follows the outside air temperature. His nighttime core body temperature can be as much as 19 degrees Fahrenheit less than his daytime core body temperature. If you would like to put that on that third stand right there
Oh,
to make your video, you're welcome to, but it would have to come out of the case to make that happen.
Oh, sure. Hang on.
It wouldn't fit into that flat holder
Yeah.
with the case on it. So the sloth's core body temperature, if my core body temperature changed by 19 degrees Fahrenheit, that would be my core body temperature dropping from 98.6 down to 79.6. That obviously would not be a survivable thing on an everyday basis. But that's the way that the sloth rolls. The sloth also can only make milk for its babies for about 2 to 5 weeks. I'm trying to multitask here and stink at it.
Do you need help?
Well, I'm trying to move the little puzzle piece to tell TikTok that I'm still alive. And, all right, there we go. All right, so
Is mine recording? Just curious if you need help with that.
there we go. Yep, it is. All right, so the sloth, I just moved the puzzle piece on that. His core body temperature, 19 degrees less. If my core body temperature dropped from 98.6 down to 79.6, that would be a terrible thing. But that's the way a sloth rolls every day. The sloth milk for their babies 2 to 5 weeks, and that is all. Also, most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their babies. The sloth has no storage. It produces the milk drop by drop as the baby eats it. It has nothing in its energy budget to store something that it doesn't immediately need. When the sloth is in the top of the tree, he is basically entirely safe from things that would want to hunt him. He has no smell. The sloth has no scent gland, musk gland, sweat gland, none of that business. So yeah, you can. So he has no scent. A snake hunts by scent and by temperature. The sloth's body temperature is whatever the outside air temperature is, and he has no smell, so he is undetectable to a snake. If a snake happened to cross a sloth, it would be blind dumb luck. The cat cannot get to the sloth in the rainforest. The sloth hangs out at the end of the branch, and when he sees something moving towards him, his instinct is to go, end of the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then whang, the branch bends down under his body weight, right? The cat that's trying to come after the snake is coming along the top of the branch, and when he gets to the end, what's he gonna do? He can't get there. And the cat is gonna weigh 40, 50 pounds, the sloth only weighs 15. So should the cat press the issue to the point that the whole mess drops 100 feet all the way to the rainforest floor, the sloth is built to survive that, and a cat is not. So the sloth is going to look over the cat and he's going to say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes. And the cat will not be returning to the canopy of the rainforest. The one animal that can get to a sloth in the top of a tree is a harpy eagle. So that is why the moss and algae all in the sloth's fur are important for the sloth. More moss, more algae, more disguise from harpy eagles. Also more disguise from snakes, I guess, at the infinitesimal detail, because if he didn't have the moss and algae, he would smell like a blank spot in the middle of the forest. And with the moss and algae, he smells like moss and algae. It's like the rest of the rainforest does. And yet, even though the snake, I can't say my words this morning, even though the sloth is safe in the top of the tree, yet he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, once in a week or 10 days, 3 to 4 times a month, to go to the bathroom. When he does, he comes all the way down the tree. He gets his hiney right to the ground. If you look in his room, you can see that we only have to put shavings in one spot because the sloth always goes in the same place. Even in captivity, they always go in the same place because it is their nature to do so. So the reason that the sloth comes all the way down the tree and risks his safety to come all the way down to put his hiney right to the ground and go to the bathroom is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. In the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. There is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth that lives nowhere on earth except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. The relationship between the sloths and the moths is symbiotic, not parasitic. Symbiotic means beneficial to both sides, where parasitic would be beneficial to one, neutral, or harmful to the other. They both benefit. It is symbiotic. The benefit to so as the sloth comes down the tree and gets all the way to the ground, there are 100 to 150 moths living all in the sloth's fur. They fly down into the waste pile and lay their eggs. They get done and get back to the sloth as quickly as they can because the sloth will only be down there for 2 to 3 minutes. When the sloth comes down the tree, he's doing his business and getting back up as quick as he can because he is in danger when he's at the bottom. So the moths lay their eggs, get back as fast as they can. When the sloth is down there to eliminate, he is going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass all at once, between solid and liquid separately, but at the same time, he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass. Putting these numbers to human perspective, if I ate 10% of my body weight every day and I weigh about 200 pounds, that would be me running into Outback and saying, bring me 20 of the 16-ounce porterhouse steaks, because that's what I want to eat today. Or hitting the golden arches and saying, bring me 80 quarter-pounders, because that's what I'm in the mood for today. Obviously, that would not work for me. But that's what that is the amount that a sloth is going to eat on an everyday basis. Also, when the sloth eliminates, and he's going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass, this guy's empty weight is about 15 pounds. He is going to eliminate 5 pounds between solid and liquid in 2 to 3 minutes. So for
We
me,
have peels in here, should I try that?
yeah, he eats those. Yeah. So for me, yeah, most animals eat the peels as well as the flesh of fruit, and actually, a lot of the nutrients are in the peels. So, and if you kind of lead him with me, he'll come back out here to where we are.
Okay.
So if I was going to eliminate 1/3 of my total body mass, that's me making a 60-pound pile in 2 or 3 minutes. All right, so when
63.
yeah, 60 pounds in 2 or 3 minutes between solid and liquid. So to be perfectly graphic, we're talking about a 5-gallon bucket and a bag of dog food in 2 or 3 minutes. So obviously that would be really something. So the moths get down, they lay their eggs. This week's eggs are next week's larvae or the following week's moths. So every time that the sloth comes down the tree, there is a new step in the process, and there are always new moths to fly up onto the sloth and live their life on the sloth.
Oh my goodness.
The sloth will have 100 to 150 moths living on him all the time.
Wow.
So we said it is symbiotic. Symbiotic meaning beneficial to both sides. So the benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moth. The moths are eating the moss and algae that are all in the sloth's fur, and they are then fertilizing the same via their waste. More moss, more algae, more disguise from harpy eagles.
From harpy eagles.
Yep, exactly. So the second benefit for the sloth, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the bodies of the moths themselves. That is the sloth's protein source in the rainforest. Third, and most importantly, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths are the key to the game for the sloth. The waste of the moths are how the sloth gets the probiotics to regenerate his gut bacteria colony. Now we also have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives unless just leave it. Unless we take a whole lot of antibiotics. If we take a lot of antibiotics, we're gonna need probiotics or Greek yogurt to fix our gut health back up. Now this dude lives in the rainforest. He's never heard of GNC. He doesn't know the way to Publix. He's not getting any probiotics or any Greek yogurt. So the source, yeah, you can't have any more. The source, he only gets 3 servings of fruit a week, and that was one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that little bit of banana there, that was his serving of fruit. So the sloth, as he grooms himself and he licks up the waste of the moths, that is where he gets the probiotics to replenish his gut health. Now in captivity, we don't need this sloth to have 100, 150 nasty little moths on him all the time. Praise the Lord. I would not want to deal with that. So, and we don't have to have a nasty looking sloth covered in moss and algae. I wouldn't want to be running my hand over moss and algae like this. That's disgusting. But here, he doesn't need the moths for 3 specific reasons. 1, there's nothing hunting him, so he doesn't need the camouflage of the moss and algae. 2, we can feed him other protein sources, so he doesn't need the protein from the moth bodies. 3, for us, what interrupts our gut health is antibiotics. We take a whole lot of antibiotics. We need probiotics for Greek yogurt. You ready to go back to bed, buddy? He's like, yeah, it's past 11, sir. Let's open the door, sir. So so for us, what interrupts our gut health is antibiotics. For the sloth, what interrupts his gut health is cold temperature. If the sloth gets cold, that will wipe out his his gut bacteria, and the sloth cannot survive that. That's why his bacteria has to be being replaced on an ongoing basis. Remember, he gets cold every night. So he has to be continually replacing his gut bacteria in the wild. Here, we never ever let a sloth get cold, so his gut bacteria will last throughout his life. If he did have a problem, there are supplements that we can give him here, because we do know where GNC is. But in the rainforest, if the sloth's moth colony fails to thrive, the sloth will not survive. The other things about a sloth is crazy strong. He can do a 1-arm pull-up by any of his 2 arms or 2 legs. And I dare to say none of us in this room could. I know I can't. And then the sloth can hang there for days. But the hanging here is not a matter of strength, it's a matter of design. Now if we were going to do a 2-arm hang on this branch, a minute would be a long time to do a 2-arm hang. And that's because this is our stress or exertion state. This is our relaxed state. I mean, we could do this forever, right? So for the sloth though, he's got tremendously tight tendons in his hand and in his forearm. So pop, clamp down like that, that is his natural relaxed state. When the sloth opens his claws like this, that is his exertion state. So that's relaxed. If the sloth's life ended while hanging in that tree, he wouldn't fall. He would continue to hang there until something knocked him out of the tree. But he is exerting no energy at all to hang in the branches like that. And that's how he goes out to the end of the branch, and then at light speed he reaches out and he pulls the branch down to his mouth. And then he eats all the leaves off of one branch, and then he grabs another one and he pulls that down to his mouth. And that's what he does all day. I think it's a cool picture when he hangs by 2 left or 2 right. Hey Flash, what you doing, baby? I've had this guy for 4 years now.
Yeah.
I am Flash's person, and he's a chill dude. It took a long time to get his encounter going. He was bred for a zoo display, not for an interactive environment. And so, we had to teach him to want to eat from someone's hand. And you can make an animal eat from your hand. Don't feed them, they'll eat. But in my opinion, that would create an adversarial relationship. So to teach him to eat from my hand, it was offer him food, and if he doesn't want it, back in the bowl. He's going to get it whether he eats from my hand or not. So it took about a year to build the trust for him to want to eat from my hand consistently, to where he would bypass the bowl or wait for me to come to feed him, to eat from me. And it was another number of months before he would consistently eat from a stranger's hand. But But now that, you know, it's been 4 years, I'm his person, and he loves Kevin too, and Tatum, and Michaela is our sloth keeper who's off today. And so if any of the 4 of us are in the room, Sloth comes right down. If none of the 4 of us are here, there would be no sloth encounters. He would hang out up at the top. And his room goes up there 25 feet. Ain't nobody climbing up there to get the sloth down. So if he doesn't feel like playing one day, it's all right. We'll show you a different sloth. No repercussion.
How many sloths do you have here?
We have 3 right now. We were supposed to have had our 4th sloth in June, but after their mother weans them of the mother's own choosing, even though they've been being held by people every day from day 12 of their life and forward, still after their mother weans them, they have to pass the ambassador protocol as an individual, not as something with the mother. And the ambassador protocol means that they actively seek human attention and they genuinely enjoy human contact. And the baby that was supposed to have come in June after it was weaned, it would sit with a person, but it didn't act like it enjoyed it. And it would come to a person, but it didn't like actively seek human attention. Like when we're doing this girls' encounters, when we crack this door open, I'm sure you can find a video, swipe right on our TikTok, there's lots of videos on there. People who watch us live all the time don't swipe right and see any of the other videos we have. It's weird because I'm the opposite. I like look at the stills all the time, but I almost never look at live. But anyway, whatever. If you swipe right, you'll see hours and hours of content on there. And you would see the way that Zoe goes, and comes flying over and gets to the end of a branch and reaches out with both hands like this and looks like she's going to fall off the branch if somebody doesn't come and hold her. That's what it means to actively seek human attention. And so the next one didn't pass ambassador protocol, but the one that we are waiting for now has been weaned. She's just waiting to make sure that she's going to be appropriate for what we do here. The reason that I have a sloth encounter is I went on one that a cruise ship goes to, and I thought it was great and wonderful and lovely and fantastic. And I was horrified a year later when I found out how extremely brief the lifespan of those sloths are, because they are so stressed from all the number of people they see. And that's why we wanted there to be an ethical and appropriate place to interact with sloths. And that's why this guy only does 1 hour a day, those ones do 2 hours a day, and they only see 2 people at a time. But our sloths are likely to hit the 50. Not, of course. Most places, if you look at the business model, you will pretty quickly see what they're in it for. And I mean, we do want to break even. We would like to make a profit someday, but not at the expense of the health of my animals. That would never happen. So anyhow, let me think. What do we not talk about the sloth? A lot of people don't know that a sloth has ears. His ears are right here, proportional to his head. They're as big as our ears are, proportional to our head. That's pretty important for an animal with horrible vision. He has an exceptional sense of smell and an exceptional sense of hearing. His eyesight, though, his eyes have a structure called rod monochromacy. So his eyes have all rod cells, no cone cells. So he sees only in grayscale, and he sees very, very poorly. What we would call poorly, but it works really well for him. The way that he sees, if you ever see the point of view of the guys in the military movies, and they have the night vision goggles on and they see the blobs moving around out there in front of them, that's the information they need. Well, he sees like the night vision goggles. The information that he needs is if something coming toward him. Anything moving towards a sloth is bad news. And so end of the branch, stay safe. That's what his eyes are meant for. Did you have any questions about a sloth I didn't cover today?
No, I think you covered a ton of stuff.
Yeah? So you see the sloth, we said that he's completely relaxed in a tree. This guy actually isn't asleep right now. He is, you can tell by his respiration that he is awake. He is focusing in on his smell and his hearing. Those are his primary senses. A couple things I did not talk about. Sloth has 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs. That's part of how he survives the long drops. He's built like a truck. But in addition to keeping him safe, in emergency situation, he's got all this connective tissue going all back and forth between his ribs and all of his organs. For us, our organs are just sitting in our pelvis and upper bounded by our diaphragm. But at the end of the day, they're all just kind of sloshy loose in here. And that's why if you are on an inversion table and somebody walked away and just left you there, you're going to be like, hey, ho, and you're gonna get pretty uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but in not so long. This guy could be horizontally upside down, he could be vertically upside down, he could be hanging in a branch like that, he could be laying on his back belly or side. In any position he is, his position and orientation of all of his organs will remain exactly the way it should be, because they're all held in exact positions by all the connective tissue from ribs to organs. People often ask me how a sloth can swallow upside down. Well, technically you could swallow upside down too, we just don't have occasion to do so very often. But peristalsis is the muscle spasm that moves our food from back of our throat down to our stomach. He's got the same. In his stomach, he's got a one-way in the top of his stomach, so food can go in, but when he's upside down, it can't come back out. So it is impossible for a sloth to have food go the opposite direction in his digestive system. Alright, so I need to give him his daily supplements. You're welcome to help me do that. And in just a minute, he's going to be heading back to his room to take his morning nap. The sloth's normal life cycle: in the night they take a series of 2-hour naps, in the day they take a series of in the night they take a series of 3-hour naps, in the day they take about 2-hour naps, and every time that a sloth wakes up, he is hungry, ready to eat. And so we're going to give him his supplements on this little bit of rice right here. Say what?
I can see him sniffing for it.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He heard the top come off of the food. So are you staying in the area or just driving from Jersey, driving back?
Oh, no, my mom lives in Dandridge, so we drove down from Dandridge this morning.
Excellent. You guys going on the farm tour this afternoon?
I don't know. My husband arranged this. I know later today around dinner time we're going to the Lost Sea.
Oh, good.
On the way back, so.
There is a farm tour at 2:30 today. I don't think it's entirely full, unless people have signed up in the office while I've been standing here. And the farm tour is how you walk around the farm and you see about 40-ish breeds of animals. And it's up close and personal, see them, touch them, pet them, hold them. So on the farm tour you'd see all of those you saw on the petting farm up there as you came down this way. Plus camels, kangaroo, 3-banded armadillo, and mini squirrels, micro squirrels, and I don't know, a bunch of animals, some lizards. Alright, just gonna hold this like this and he'll take it. And after he sniffs it, he'll hang right down and get it. You don't have to hold your arm up like that. He'll come down for it. That's his dessert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Hi, buddy. Hello. You want to hold it yourself?
Oh, he can't hold it himself. He would drop it. He's holding your hand saying, "Don't let this get away from me." It's like his Flintstones chewables.
Right. I saw
They make
those,
them taste so good that the kids want to eat them for candy.
When I was a little kid, I ate a whole bottle because
Yeah.
it was candy to me. I was lucky they weren't iron, or else it would have been really, really sick. But I just had a stomachache.
All right, guys, we're well into overtime. I usually don't answer questions during the live, but if anybody had a question, shout it out. I'll see if I can answer it real quick. One question a lot of people ask is, where are you and can I do this? We are in Benton, Tennessee, which is between Chattanooga and Knoxville. And yes, you can do this. It is possible to sign up on site, but I don't recommend it because if you're on site, it's just space available. And there is not very often space available. The sloths book up well in advance. So you would go onto our website, OcoeeRiversideFarm.com. The link is in the bio. And you would click on either animal encounters or click on sloths. And that is how you would get to come here and do what we're doing right now. There are 6 different sloth encounters that you can do. How old do they live to be? In the wild, a sloth can get to be about 20 years old is the theory. No one could tell you for sure because no one has ever observed one from birth to geriatrics in the wild. There was one at Smithsonian that lived 49 years. There's 2 in Germany that are 52, 53 years old. There is one in China that is reputed to be much, much older, but you know, it's China, who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We expect these to get to be at least 35, possibly 50 years old. The breeder that our sloths comes from has females that are 35 years old and still reproducing. And I can't tell you who the breeder is. If you're not licensed as a zoo, he won't talk to you anyway. And if you are licensed as a zoo, you already know who I'm talking about. If anybody else has 1 or 2 more questions, I'll answer them, and then we're going to see how this sloth goes up into his room. He does not live on this little branch in the kitchen. This is where he comes down to do his encounters. All right, you want to show how he goes up?
Oh, sure.
All right. Flash just finished his supplements, I think. Oh, he's got a little bit left there.
I tried to turn it, but he wasn't interested in the rest.
Oh, it's probably good.
He's full from the bananas.
That could be. All right, Flash, you want to go back up? It's over 75 out, right?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to open his outside. He may decide to go outside this morning, or he may wait till later in the afternoon. So if you're joining us live, this sloth does not live in the kitchen. He's got his inside that goes up there 20-some feet. He's got his outside where he can get out and get some sunshine and fresh air. Very important for every living organism to get sunshine and fresh air. And when he goes up, he's quicker than you might have thought that a sloth is. When he's hanging on the branch, he can look pretty small, and then as he goes up, he can look pretty long. And if you're seeing the window behind Flash there, that is where the camel condo is. That is the unit that you can stay in and have a sloth for a roommate. Oh, he's noticed the door. I think he's coming this way.
How tall is he?
I don't know.
Do you know?
If he's hanging on the branch in the kitchen there, he can almost reach the doorknob. So that must be 3.5, 4 feet. So he is working his way around to come on down, I think. No, looks like he's going to take a nap.